Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is doing really, really well on this beautiful Tuesday evening. It is cold here in New York, as always, but my guest, where she's from, it's colder there sometimes due to it being called the Windy City. My guest tonight is from Chicago. She she does a lot of different things as composed of having being a school counselor, mental health treatment, former VP and current member of American School Counselor Association, former board president of Global Girls Incorporated, ministry church leader, has a master's degree in criminal justice and counseling, writing dissertation under doctoral program in organizational leadership, speaks heavily on race and equality, founder of Mommy and Me Ministries, also a representative of Planet Marketing and Into Travel. This is my friend, my business partner, Stephanie Miller Henderson, joins the Honest Hour. How are you tonight?
I am amazing, amazing. I'm feeling blessed. It's late, it's cold in Chicago, like you said. But thank you so much for inviting me to be here.
Of course, absolutely. This show really started as really an idea for people in my area, but I've realized as the show grows and as I start to branch out, it's now starting to get to a point to where I have to touch every part of the world that I can. And so it's an honor and a privilege when someone who I do have not met in real time, at least not yet, or I have been able to make a connection with elsewhere other than me knowing them personally. It's always great to get them on the show and also maybe drop some stuff on them, maybe look at things from a different perspective, something things that they may not know or be ready for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, be that as it may, like I said, I'm gonna get right into it. You are from the Chi Town,
Chi-town, born and raised.
the, the the home of the Chicago Bulls, my Chicago Bulls.
That's it. The GOAT himself,
A lot,
Michael Jordan, right?
a lot of years removed from those '90s teams now.
Right, right, right. But we look, we hold on near and dear. We hold on tight. We
Absolutely.
that's it.
What was your experience like growing up in Chicago?
Ah, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? I mean, Chicago is what, the third largest city in the
Yeah.
country. Um, Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the country. Has a lot of history. Um, from the Great Migration, people from the South coming to Chicago. So my experience is just deeply embedded in being an 80s baby, like all that entails, right? So I grew up in a time where I want to say, like, my grandparents, they were the people that migrated from the South early, like 17, 18 years old,
Oh wow.
and created a place in Chicago. And so growing up in the 80s, it was, I got a chance to really be embedded in the culture. I remember, seeing a lot of Black owned businesses in my community during that time. But I also remember a lot of different political issues, social issues that were coming down the pipeline and really hitting Chicago, like the war on drugs, right? And
Hmm.
so it was heavy gang culture, heavy drug culture. Um, so I grew up during a time where I feel like it was two extremes happening. Like and it kind of still is that same way in our big cities in the country. It's like, this beautiful culture and this resilient people that you see that migrated from the South to the North, right? And heavily embedded in the Midwest. A lot of music, a lot of food, all that good stuff. But then on that one extreme, you have, again, all of those issues that were coming down the pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
in a major city that was highly segregated. So, but I grew up seeing like all of that,
Right.
and it just really kind of nurtured all of the things that you listed. All of that
Mhm.
comes from all of the things that I kind of saw and experienced in the 80s, growing up in the 80s in Chicago. So, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, right? The experience is really, really great. I feel like I definitely got a chance to see like the era of, quote unquote, the strong Black woman era, where,
Mm,
women really started to come into their own and earn and have really good sustainable careers that could take care of their families. Um, wow, a lot of the men were still heavy in the industrial field, especially in Chicago still, a lot of
absolutely.
like the plants and things like that. So I just really I experienced a mixture of things like hard work, resilience, um, street life, gang life,
Hmm.
the hustle life, the grind, all of the above is what I experienced growing up in Chicago.
So you got a little piece of everything because
Little piece of
Chicago.
everything.
Chicago has a lot of good things, but a lot of bad things as well. Like I've never been there, but I've just heard, you know, Kanye West would allude a lot to like a lot of murders in the city and things like that. I remember I've heard other artists say where the Bulls play, it's not very safe there. So they say, you know,
Right, right. And
you
that's
know,
that's the that's the thing about the media. You really won't know unless you kind of touch down in the city and see it for yourself. I always say, you think about a heavy populated city. Um, Crime is going to be typically just as high as the population a lot of times. And
mhm.
so, the media may portray it one way, but in all actuality, there weren't many times where we were on the top 10 list for murders. So there, but that's what was being portrayed in the media.
Right, of
It's a
course.
political thing
Yeah,
often.
there's some worse cities. I've been to Memphis. It's bad there. Because I have family there. And Detroit, of course. Detroit's up there with that. So, what were some of your interests growing up?
I've always had interest in the arts, definitely music, dance. I grew up, in a very musically inclined family, from my grandmother who would be playing the keyboard, my uncle who had a group, a rap group during the 80s when I was growing up, to my cousin who is blues legend Bobby Blue Bland. So definitely, heavy into the arts. But I loved school. Like, I probably could be classified as a nerd. If people use that word still. I loved school. Like, that was a real outlet for me. Like, I was that one, like perfect attendance in the front of the classroom, raising my hand all the time, straight A's. Like, yes, that was me. So even, from elementary school to high school, like, education was definitely an outlet for me. So I would stay late. I would participate in all the clubs, whether it was before school or after school. Um, yeah, I just wanted to be immersed in the learning environment as much as possible. And so, that again, that really just sparked this strong sense of learning, a strong sense of, love of the culture, um, but also like a activist spirit started to kind of
Mm-hmm.
surface, by the time I got to high school, definitely by the time I got to college. So I would participate in like all of, like local protests and things that were happening. Um, when I was in college during my undergrad, I remember attending, and this was an incident that happened in Louisiana where a young man was facing decades of jail time from a fight. It was a group of them. They were known as the Gina Six. And so I remember taking an 18-hour bus ride with a group of, my peers from the university that I attended, which was Chicago State. I transferred from a school that was a couple of hours away from the city and transferred into the city, um, to be closer to my family. And I remember attending that march and that being like a really pivotal moment for me as it relates to like social justice,
Mm-hmm.
race and equity work, and just, standing up for people who are often marginalized and mistreated. And so, yeah, that I had some pretty serious experiences during, high school and definitely the beginning years of college.
Mm. And that those things are important to stand for something, or you believe in nothing, is what I like to say. And to your point of just having that that spirit of wanting to learn, by everything that you have accomplished and still are accomplishing, that seems like that niche hasn't gone away. It seems like you're always looking to be knowledgeable of something.
Mhm.
And that's what it is. Stand for something or you fall for everything.
That's it. That's it.
That's I knew I
Fall
was
for
close,
anything. Yes, that's
you
it.
know. And it's real important that you stand for those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
The activist, as an African American, I'm in that same boat. I like to speak on to these things to people and have them understand. I was, one guy I work with, he didn't understand certain things. He's 25. He's, so he's a white guy, young guy, but he,
Mhm.
he really didn't understand. Like I said to him, "Would you eat chitlins?" And then he goes, "What are those?" So I had to tell him. He goes, "Well, why would I eat those?" And I had to tell him why they were eaten. He just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just didn't understand. He goes, "Wow, so it's like a cultural thing." I said, "Yeah, my hair, like a lot of things like that. That's just not understood."
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad. Kind of sad that you know there's still not full understanding of these things amongst all races, because
Hmm.
there's things I don't know about other races. So you brought up music, and I told you yesterday I do this game here. I consolidated it a little bit. Usually I do like 40 of them, but I didn't do 40. I think there's,
Okay.
well, we got 4, 8. I think there's like 13 or 14 here. It's R&B. So I'm just gonna ask you one or the other, and you pick which one based on your personal preference.
Gotcha.
112 or Jagged Edge,
Jagged Edge.
New Edition or Mint Condition,
New Edition.
Earth, Wind and Fire or The Temptations,
The Temptations.
Marvin Gaye or Sam Cooke,
Marvin Gaye.
Beyonce or Aaliyah.
Beyonce. Come
Really?
on.
Wow. Whoa. That one, I didn't expect that one. Whoa.
Okay. Yes. Beyonce. I mean, the hits, the
Yeah.
ongoing hits, hit after hit. Yes.
Tour after tour. Erica Badu or Jill Scott?
Erica Badu.
Shaka Khan or Sade?
Shaka Khan. That's a. Who you get? You giving some tough ones, man. I swear.
Listen, I've had people like be upset at these. Like they're just like in the comments. I had one of my guests, their mother was cursing me out in the comments. Like, cause and she's on the screen with me and she's like after the show, she goes, I heard my mom screaming. I didn't realize she was watching the show. And that's what she was screaming at. She thought she was on the phone. She was screaming at some of these questions.
I mean, you gotta just answer quickly, like, because
Yeah.
if you think about it too long, the choice becomes that much more difficult. So yeah.
Well, I asked one guest, Biggie or Tupac. I thought his head was gonna explode. Literally, he was just like, like
Yeah,
he looked so
yeah.
stressed, and he had like 25. So like by like 13, he's like, bro, please tell me there's no more. I'm like, we got like 12 more. He goes, no. All right, I'll keep playing.
Yeah. Man, that's rough.
Donnell Jones or Music Soul Child?
Donnell Jones.
Babyface or Keith Sweat?
Keith Sweat.
Oh, I finally got to the stumble one. Yes, that's the goal. Like you to stumble on one a little bit.
Keith Sweat.
R. Kelly or Usher?
R. Kelly.
All right, the final three: Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder?
Stevie.
Whitney or Aretha?
Are you serious? Aretha. I'm gonna pay respects. Give respects.
You know what the last one is, right?
Biggie or Tupac?
No, but you can answer that one. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Pac.
Okay,
You
I'm
know.
with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it. The last one is Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson. I am an MJ fan, okay? Yes.
You know, listen, I'm big on MJ too. He's the greatest. No one, like people want to talk about. Like if you say Prince, I'm cool with that. Even if you say the Beatles because of what they've done for music and all of their accolades, I can accept that. But you see, he's on the shirt. Like,
Oh, look at that. I should have had mine on. But
yeah,
you know what? I found out recently that Prince played 27 instruments.
Oh yeah.
And he played all of them on his first album. That is amazing. So he's definitely worth every recognition, accolade, Hall of Fame, for real. All well worth it, for sure.
Oh, he was definitely smart. And also on top of all that, just he could wear high heels and take your woman home. Like
At the same time.
like,
Hair looking better than hers. Yep.
like dang, like Prince just took my woman home. Like that's wrong. Like, and then like he lost his name and then found a way to use his name. Like Prince was a smart individual. So I know we're a little bit on a constraint here. So I wrote down everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are three things that are very important out of these.
Okay.
I want to start with you being the CEO and the founder of Mommy and Me Ministries.
Mm-hmm.
For the audience, tell them what that is and how did you find or start this non-for-profit organization?
So anything that I do has been, blessed, breathed by God. Like, so Mommy and Me Ministries is an organization that provides support for moms while like post incarceration. So when they come home and they're going through their reentry programs, we provide outreach to them, whether that's in a form of, giving them essential items, being there for support and encouragement, Bible studies, things like that, that will start. But in addition to that, we provide support services for young people while their moms are incarcerated. So the children and adolescents who are impacted, by their mom being in jail or in prison, we provide support groups around grief and loss services to those young people. I'm actually getting ready to start a pilot group in January. But that's the gist of it. I grew up being impacted by parental incarceration. Not my mother, but in during my time, I've been through a lot of educational institutions. I did a international studies program at the University of Minnesota um, during my undergrad, and during that time, I did some extensive research on the impacts of female incarceration. And the reason why I did that research during that time is because of the war on drugs and how mandatory minimum sentencing started to impact females in a major way. Like 200% of the women were being incarcerated, and oftentimes, heavily for nonviolent offenses. And so the female incarceration rate skyrocketed during that time. And 80% of the women that are incarcerated are mothers. And so while, it is difficult and it is traumatic for children or adolescents who, who lose their fathers to the
Mm-hmm.
system, can you imagine just how much more traumatic it is to lose, I want to say, like the sole nurturer of the family?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is no one that you can talk to unless their mother or their grandmother or their aunt, passed on at an early age. There is no one that you could probably really talk to that wouldn't say how instrumental the woman, the matriarch, whomever was to them and their family growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I thought that that was something that I really needed to target. And so that's what happened. And so we were incorporated in 2019. I have a phenomenal group of board members that work with me. They believe in the vision. And so I'm really looking forward to just taking it up, 10 times more in 2024. A lot of the things that we we do or that we want to do, we're really gonna be intentional about it as we move forward for sure.
Mm. That's a beautiful, beautiful program.
Thank
Because
you.
yes, of course. Because a lot of times people, and I can't speak from experience. I did not have an incarcerated parent, but a lot of times when you lose a parent due to incarceration, it changes the outlook of your life. And it puts you, like, not all women. I just want to put that out there. Not all women, but a lot of women don't feel the love from their father if he's locked away. So they find what they think is love, utilizing their body, or they might think that, they live with a man and he's beating on them, and, they think that's love because they didn't have it, but for it to be a woman or your mother, that's a side of the coin that's not really looked at, like it doesn't happen.
Mhm.
Just like, the whole stereotype that, like there's no like there's only deadbeat dads. There's deadbeat moms too,
Mhm.
and that's not, and that so not comparing apples to oranges, but
Mhm.
that's something that's not spoken about.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
I
and a lot of times that's because of the numbers, right? That's just if you statistically look at, the population of women versus the population of men, and how many women are incarcerated versus how many men are incarcerated, or how many women are raising their children, by themselves without a spouse versus how. So, that they kind of look at it based on which one is higher, if you will.
Mhm.
Um, but nevertheless, yeah, it's traumatic either way. And there are many success stories, right, in families where, you don't have to, like, that term single mom, single dad, that's really just another one of those kind of made up terms,
Right.
um, because it really takes a village, and it's always the village that raises the. It's never a one mom or one dad. Even and just because you're raised in a household with both your parents present, it doesn't mean that they're actually present.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of things that kind of go into that. But again, just having a parent removed because of a system, a system that is broken, might I add. So, many times, you may get, and I'm speaking from exactly what I know, depending on what state you're in, you could get a sentence of 40 plus years for a minor drug offense or even a theft. So when in another state, that's the equivalent of a murder. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's just the disparities that exist, just kind of further adds to that traumatic experience. And so yes, I like to think that Mommy and Me Ministries is a unique program. And so if anyone is watching and viewing, I'm going to say, we're actively seeking volunteers, board members. Definitely, you do not have to be in the city of Chicago to serve as a board member. I have a board member that is currently residing in Ghana. She is from the state of Illinois, but she has since moved to Ghana, but she's still active. And so, if any of you that's in viewer land, if you're interested in board service, if incarceration, female incarceration speaks to you, or, youth outreach, then, definitely let's connect.
Yeah, I might have some people who would love to be a part of something of that stature. Like, hey, maybe even myself, because
Okay.
anytime I can help people, that's what I'm about. That's what this platform's about.
Hmm.
Is just helping people. Because like like a lot of this show is focused on people in the entertainment business.
Hmm.
And there are other layers to the world other than entertainment. Sure, that's part of my description as a person and what I do. And yeah, that's what attracts the people. But we need more of these stories of the things of this nature for the world to see and understand. There's more out there than entertainment. Because look at some people, they can't trust their unsung heroes. Look at Diddy. Look at Jay-Z now. Like, we got to look at other stories outside of the entertainment business. That's for sure.
And then, to a caveat to that is, um, entertainers are human beings. A lot of times we put people on this pedestal because they're out there in TV land. Um, it's the same thing, if you were a leader in your community, you're looked at as, a person that can never make a mistake. And so that's fake. And so when we do that, we're going to be let down. And not to mention, I mean, we got to call it what it is. Like, those brothers may have done who knows what. I wasn't present at the party. I don't know. So, but they may have done who knows what. But the truth of the matter is, and I know people do not want to call a spade a spade. But, when you get the honest hour, right? When I look at it, I just look at it as like, you just gonna be honest on the podcast. I don't know whether it's an entertainment thing or not, but I'm gonna be honest.
Well, that's
This
that.
country is embedded in race and racism. So if you have this person on one hand that's of a different color, and this person on, they will not receive equal treatment. And
Nope.
so you get, white celebrities who, and I remember when the Bill Cosby situation was in the news, and there was the Harvey, which one gets the most media play, which one gets the most airtime. And
Right.
so, we just have to call it what it is with that. And, let I truthfully feel like what's done in the dark will come out in the light. So, whomever has done anything unjust and wrong, malicious, it'll come out. But we have to, make sure we're looking for those facts. We have this tendency to condemn people and judge people before we have all the information, because that's what the system does, right? You're really guilty until you're proven innocent. It's not the other
Absolutely.
way around. And so, I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm not, advocating for either or. I'm just saying what it is. And that's the reality of it.
You can only call it as you see it. And, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you are 100% right. I always say, and ironically, Jay-Z had a song, innocent until guilty until proven innocent, with R. Kelly on it. And here we are years later with one locked up and one being accused of something
Yeah, yeah.
that can have him put away forever.
Right, right, right.
You know,
And I mean, it's let me say, I pray, for whomever has been negatively impacted, by all of this, for sure. And we'll, we're gonna leave that at that.
that's it. That's it. So
Man.
you've also written some books. Um, and what made you decide to go down that lane into being an author?
It goes back to obedience to God. Um, and the reason why I know that book series um was ordained by God is because it happened so easily and so effortlessly. And people have asked me, like, well, when is the next series? Because the first one is geared toward young men in the Bible that God used to do amazing things. And so they're waiting for the one with the young ladies. And I'm like, me too. I'm waiting too. I'm waiting. I tried to take a step and do it, and it's like, it's not flowing. Well, that's because
Mhm.
the Holy Spirit it's not flowing in that direction. He is not flowing in that direction. So I have to be still and wait for the next one. But and I just remember starting the process in 2018. When I say starting the process, I had a notebook that was gifted to me from a student's mother. I was serving as a vacation Bible school instructor, and I love notebooks. And so the parent had given me a notebook with Jeremiah 29:11 on it. And I started just writing. I wrote a couple of songs for my daughter in it. She sings very well.
Beautiful.
Um, and then I started writing the book. And then before you know it, I was done with one. And then I started on the second one and third one. And then I had a whole series. Um, and so those books are David, From Keeping Sheep to Being King, Joash, um, A Child King, and Timothy, the Young Disciple. And so those are the three books. And they are available on Amazon. They're available at Zulon Press, which is a Christian publishing company, and anywhere online that books are sold.
Mm, mm. And that's deep rooted. I've been told, I've been told just recently I should write a book. I'm like, I ain't got the patience to write no book. It's like I ain't got the patience to write no book. A lot of steps, publishing and meetings and pages like
Yeah, and drafts and
oh man.
manuscripts and yeah. That's that's why I'm like, I mean, but it just depends on people's relationship, right? Their level of spirituality. But if God didn't say it, then I'm not doing it. And He's not in the because when God is in it, it's like even if there's a struggle, it just doesn't even feel like a struggle.
Yeah.
And so when I say it came easily, like it literally did. During the pandemic, um, I was finishing everything up. And so by the time the pandemic, we were coming out of it, 2021, really not out of it, but I had all three books published. Um, and so that's the story behind those books.
And you so now people are wanting more. One of my theories is with books, it relates. I think books, movies, and music are the three forms of entertainment where you want to leave people always wanting more.
Yeah.
Like when I take Nas's "It Ain't Hard to Tell." When
Yeah.
he said Nas's rap should be locked in a cell, it ain't hard to tell. And the album ends, and I'm like, really? And then you left people wanting more.
Yeah.
Like,
I still want more Nas. Like, what's going on? Come on.
and he just did 6 albums in 3 years, and then it's like, bro, wait a minute, you done disappeared now. You talking about another album, and you just up and left us here again. Come, he says it's coming soon. I'm waiting. Like I'm like like I'm ready for this. You know, um,
Yeah.
Same thing with people say it. People talk about it all they want, but them Fast and Furious movies don't
Mm-hmm.
matter how many they make, they always find a way. And like, I'm not even an advocate for them movies, but the last one had me mad. The last one, when it ended, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was screaming, cursing. My wife was Fast and Furious fan. She wasn't even mad, and I'm upset. I was like, because it's like, yo, it just like the scene happens and it cuts to black, and you're like,
Yeah.
how? Like,
Yeah.
really? And you left so many questions unanswered. It's like, okay,
That's how they do you, and they keep you on the edge of your seat, waiting, longing for the next series or the next part to the movie. The part that I think Fast and Furious is what, like number 8 at this
nah.
point.
The last one was 10,
Oh, 10. See,
and then
so
10 was supposed to be the last one, but they wrote such a large script they split it into 2 movies.
mm,
So now the next one is 10 part 2, and it's supposed to be the final one. We'll see.
okay, we'll see.
Because they were interviewing Ludacris and they were like, "Why do you keep making these?" He goes, "Look at it this way. You're given $100 million budget, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then you make $1 billion. As long as they offer it, I'm gonna keep doing them.
Right, right, pretty much. Give the people what they want. Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So I want to go into, obviously, little let's I'll tell a little story. So recently for me, anyone who knows me knows I've been really busy this year, really taking different avenues,
Mhm.
from growing the photography, from growing the 3 podcasts that I do, and the impending fourth one that's coming, from growing in the entertainment industry, from growing just everything as an individual. So how I met Stephanie was in some followers group, I believe. I don't know which one, but it was a followers group of some sort. And she offered an opportunity to start a business. Now, I'm not even gonna lie. When you see these things, you're skeptical. Like, you're like, you kind of give it like the side eye in a sense. But I had been seeing a lot of these types of businesses for some time now, and it seemed like an avenue. So her and I connected. We had a very beautiful conversation, probably like 20 minutes. Really connected. And then I kind of went ghost for a little while, just trying to figure some stuff out. But she's very persistent.
Yes.
Very persistent. Even if it was just a check-in, just to say, hey, how are you? You still when are you ready to start? Took about 5 months, but we're here now.
Yes.
So I would love for you to talk about Planet Marketing and Intel Travel, which I am now a part of the team.
Absolutely.
But before you get into actually what they are and the Jesus, I had the word in my head. The function of what they do. Explain to me with all that you do, and as you can see, take this part away. This top part is everything that you do.
Okay.
Did you see there's like 14 bullets there?
Okay.
Okay. So take these two away because these
You
bottom,
got mom and wife on there too. Ooh,
oh, see,
that that's the real job. Okay. No.
listen, listen, doing all that and keeping a husband happy and dealing with being a mother, those are the real
That's
full-time
the
jobs.
real job. Yes.
That's the real MVP stuff there. But considering all that, what made you decide to enter this avenue and take on this business as well, on top of everything you've accomplished and that you still do on a regular basis?
Um, the money wasn't matching. The math wasn't mathing,
Okay.
right? I'm currently a doctoral student. I'll be finished with my PhD in the spring. And it takes us, thank you. I'm gonna give all the glory to where it should go. Um,
Yeah.
but it takes so much to earn a six-figure salary. In fact, I want to say maybe only 5% of the people in this country actually earn a six-figure plus salary. Um, and then I started to realize that if something happened to me, my income would stop because it's linear. If I'm not punching in, then there's no check coming out. Um, and then I didn't believe in, not that I don't have insurance, I just know that it does not equal wealth or generational wealth in the way that many insurance agents attempt to verbalize it.
You're
So
talking,
I knew
talking
that it was
life.
important. Say that again.
You're talking life insurance.
Life insurance. Life insurance, because that's, it's been put out there like, build wealth for your children by way of life insurance. Wealthy people, I don't know that they have life insurance, because life insurance is for people that you either you can't afford to, bury your loved one, you
Hmm.
know, with, let's say, your savings or whatever have you, and then you can't afford to leave something to your loved one without that policy. And so I didn't want to have a policy that was going to give my daughter a one-time payout that she, once she spends it, it's done.
Right.
Even if she invested in it, invested in something, it wouldn't give that generational wealth component. Planet
Absolutely.
Marketing does that. When I was introduced to Planet Marketing a couple of years ago, I found it by way of a group of individuals that I had become connected with all around wealth building. And so the business opportunity was presented. Our product is travel. Planet Marketing sells the IntelliTravel agency. IntelliTravel is a 33 plus year company with an A plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Started the set the tone really for the home-based travel business model. So versus, you having to go to a brick and mortar travel agent, people have now a e-business. You have a business in a box. When you become a Planet Marketing rep, you get the products, which is IntelliTravel. Um, so I got aligned with it because it just made sense. I've been traveling since I was two. Going back and forth to Memphis with my grandmother. So
Hmm.
travel is that one thing that's going to happen. from Noah building the ark to people going to space. It's
Yeah,
just gonna happen. It's inflation proof, recession proof, depression proof. It was COVID-19 pandemic proof. Like,
absolutely.
it just makes sense. If you talk about investing, why not invest in yourself and start a business? The fact that it only cost $200 one time, I said, what? All those $200 that I threw away at a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
at a wine bar, or what, like places that I will never yield that income back.
Mm-hmm.
It just made sense, Mike. It's literally one of the smartest decisions that I've ever made. Um, and had, and it's just one of those things that you're not taught in school. You're not taught how to build wealth. You're taught how to go to college, get a degree, and get a career so you can get good benefits. Sometimes it's not even the salary that's highlighted. It's like you got to get good benefits. When in
Mm-hmm.
all actuality, all of these systems are just broken, whether it's healthcare, criminal justice. We've talked about all types of systems on this platform already.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but Planet Marketing affords us 8 streams of income. And one of those streams is a residual income stream. Residual income is the game changer. That's how Quincy Jones left $80 million to each of his 7 children, because of residual income.
Mm-hmm.
So it's powerful. It's more powerful than passive income. Passive income is like you get to make money with little to no lifting. Residual is like you get paid over and over again for something you did one time. It's like royalties,
Right.
right? Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Prince. They're still getting paid and they're no longer here. And so it just makes sense. It's powerful. And once people tap into it, it's unlimited. The sky is the limit. I always share with you, like, we have coaches that are making over $100,000 a month.
Right.
They're no different than you and I. If we put the work in and have the drive, then we too can achieve that for our families. And they spent the same $200. So I mean, it just made sense. Um, Travel is right now headed to being an $11 trillion industry, because people will travel before they pay their light bill, gas bill, mortgage. We call it
Yeah.
light bill. Black folks say light bill, but their electric bill.
Yeah.
Uh, so yes, I mean, I do not condone that. However, it's the truth. They will be in Jamaica and they will have those bills on the table, waiting for them to come back from Montego Bay, and they
Like,
spent the money. Yes.
yeah, you like Jane paid. Like, I seen this meme. It was like it was on Black Friday a couple years ago, and then it was like, well, it says it was Kermit, and he's looking, and it's like, I hope you enjoy buying all that stuff you can't afford on Black Friday. And at the bottom, it's him sipping tea. He goes, or next Friday, so it'll be Black Friday too.
Exactly. The trick. Spent buy. We're consumers. We consume so much. And now, people have an opportunity to be a merchant. We literally have we literally can partner with people in Mexico, in the Dominican Republic, in all of the Caribbean, in the United Kingdom. You literally are a distributor, a franchisee, and that's major. Like, imagine having a McDonald's in all of those countries. That's what this is. It's just that you didn't have to pay the thousands and thousands of dollars that it takes to open up a traditional business. Yes.
Absolutely.
Game changer.
And it's something that, once again, people don't understand the differences, in these incomes. So, what is it? So, for just explain to the people also what each business a little more kind of does, like, because there's obviously a difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone were to start, what are some of the things they would want to know in order to get started?
Well, it's a $200 conversation. So once they hear that it's 8 streams of income, unlimited weekly income, and that there's a legacy attached, that you can leave your heir a will and not a bill, and you can leave that for generations to come. Like, people really, to be honest, if they understand that, if they can really open their ears, they'll be ready to get started, because
Mm,
it's one time. But the difference is Planet Marketing sells the IntelliTravel products. So you sell travel agencies. So there's one of our trainers, he puts it like this. He says, why sell the burger when you could sell the burger store? And so that's what you're actually doing. As opposed to just selling burgers, you're selling the entire store. So you're giving people the opportunity to have their own home-based travel business, as opposed to just selling them a cruise, or selling them, a trip to Cancun, or a trip to Tokyo, or a trip to Santorini, all the places that people are going, Tanzania. They literally can have it themselves, have access to it themselves, do their Bali and Dubai trips themselves, earn all that money themselves. And so
mm,
you're literally just empowering people to do that. Um, so that's the difference in the businesses. There are a lot of companies that have a network marketing business model, right? Avon, Mary Kay, Amway. There are some educational companies that we don't even know, that have adapted a network marketing business model, because what that just means is, I don't make money off of you, I make money with you. And a lot of people are reluctant to get a business started in the network marketing industry, because they're uneducated about it. They're ignorant to what it really is. They think it's a scam. And so we always share, we have an income disclosure statement. I file taxes on my business. It's a home-based business. So
yeah.
I'm not a tax professional, but there are over 400 tax deductions for home-based businesses. People
Mm,
have had home-based businesses for decades, decades, decades. Most businesses started out of the home. Pepperidge Farms, those goldfish crackers that our kids love,
mm-hmm.
started out of the home. All of these big billion-dollar right? So, you people just need to be educated, and you have to be willing to get the knowledge and stop thinking that everything is a scam. Our founder, Planet Marketing founder Donald Bradley, shares this acronym for poor. He says people are poor because they pass over opportunities repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just have to make sure that we get all the information. Um, but again, it was a no-brainer for me, because I already use the product. If I use it, then I should own it. If I use it continuously, like faithfully, I should own it. And then even if you don't use it, I say the person that created dog food doesn't eat it, but it was a need for it. So, they created it. So even if you
Absolutely.
don't travel, if billions of people are traveling, then you can still sell it. So again, Mike, it's just one of those things that makes sense. So on the marketing side of the business, you have the ability to build a team. Um, and then on the IntelliTravel side, you have the ability to book, sell, whatever, all travels, church retreats, girls trips, guys trips, sororities and fraternities, you name it, whether they're going to zip line or skydive or do that clear kayaking, horseback riding on the beach,
Mm-hmm.
all the things, the Kendrick Lamar and SZA concert, Beyonce, all the things, people can book that through themselves, their own business, or sell that through their own business.
Mm.
So,
Well, and it's like you said, it's all about being educated. And I've taken, like understanding that, especially considering that I'm very well educated in life insurance. I just need to take the state test, and then I could sell life insurance in New York. Life insurance is a bit of a little game, because there's different kinds of life insurance, and if you buy the wrong policy, you're going to be in some trouble.
mhm.
Especially if you buy like a term policy. That's like the worst thing you can do because you gotta say like you die, like when you die. Like if I say I'm gonna die at like 60, but I die at 61, that's null and void. You paid all those years into this policy for it not to be cashed in, all because you picked the wrong age to die. You don't know when you're gonna die,
That
so
shouldn't even be legal. Like, why are people allowed to sell that? But okay, that's another story.
yeah, it's it's ironic because I know another guy, another friend of mine who sells life insurance, and he does it like hard body, and we've gotten into that, and he's just like, it's the way it is. Like I can't explain it honestly. I said, dang, that's kind of crazy. He goes, but he was gonna look into it,
That's
So
unfortunate.
so before we exit off of here, I wanted to just also I have a little ritual I do on this show, um, called a positive ending message. But before we get into that, for anyone watching this or who can watch this back or who will watch this back, if they're interested in joining the Mommy and Me Ministries, maybe finding your books or even having a conversation or joining any of the businesses, where can they find you? Your handles.
Absolutely. Facebook is my go-to, right? I just love Facebook. So I'm on Facebook, it's Stephanie Miller Henderson. I'm on LinkedIn, it's Stephanie Miller Henderson. Um, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Snap. You can find me at all those places. But you can also email me at the founder at mommyandmeministries.org. Just the way that it sounds. The founder at mommyandmeministries.org. And I would love to assist. I would love to have a conversation about board service, or volunteering if you are in Chicago. And then as it relates to the books, you can go directly to my publisher, Zulon Press. That's XULON Press, at the bookstore. Or you can also purchase directly from Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, all the online book stores, outlets. You can purchase the books there.
All right. All right. And so for like I said, I end each show with a positive ending message. And it's or actually, yeah, I'm sorry. And he showed a positive ending message. It's pretty much where you just say something, not that there wasn't a lot of good information and nice energy in this interview, but it's just something that's uplifting and positive for you to whoever's watching this or who's watching this back. The floor is yours.
Absolutely. I would just have to say, know that you have everything that you need to win, everything that you need to be successful. Um, there's uniqueness, a gift, talent, purpose in each and every one of us. There's only one of us. And so the sooner you tap into your God given gifts, talents, and purpose, the better off you will be. No matter what they say on TV, or no matter what they may say in your family, just dim the naysayers, and understand that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are a royal priesthood, that you are an overcomer, that you are more than a conqueror. And that is actually, this is Bible, that not only should you believe in God, but you should believe in yourself.
Mm.
You have to believe in yourself. It says believe in thyself and believe in God. And so, without faith, it's impossible to please God. So, pray to increase your faith, and just watch how things happen. That just put one foot in front of the other, make the necessary steps, and then surround yourself around people that can sharpen you. Iron sharpens iron. I like to say, you know, get around people that can make your purpose that you're pregnant with, that can bring it to life, that can help you to give birth to that purpose.
Mm,
And that's it, Mike. I mean, get around the people. You got to get around the people. Get
mm.
around some accomplices that's gonna help you accomplish it. And so that's it. That's all I have.
Man, I think that was one of the best ones. I think so. That one was just, that one was full of purpose and full of information and full of belief. I want to thank you for taking time out of your ever so busy schedule to come on for the 50th episode of this show.
Whoop whoop whoop.
50 episodes, and we're now on the road to 100.
Wow.
So now, I want to thank anyone who watched, anyone for their support, anyone for their time, whether it's a share, a like, an appreciation of what's being done here. I'll be back on Thursday, yes, with Janelle Santana. That one's gonna be another one, just deep and rooted. Her book is right here.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been reading that. She's got a lot that she does, quite the list like you have here.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about her book and everything. She just got recognized in her city for her non-for-profit organization. Literally, I just seen the video. Something came
Mhm.
up. So we're going to be talking with her. Stephanie, thank you for coming on. We will be in touch, of course.
Yes.
And everyone have a good night, and I will see you on the next episode.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. God bless.
God bless.